What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Witty Sports Talk. Here for another soccer video today. The biggest club soccer game of the year coming up this Saturday, the Champions League final, Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. A game with plenty of storylines. Real Madrid looking for their 15th Champions League. Borussia Dortmund back in the Champions League final for the first time since 2013. A game with plenty of storylines both on player and team sides. I mean, obviously the team side kind of just went over there. But with the players, Marco Reus, his final game at Dortmund, Toni Kroos retiring after the Euros this summer, so this is his final club game. Modric, don't really know what his future holds. And Jadon Sancho leaving Dortmund after this game, maybe coming back. Plenty of players involved in this game with plenty of storylines, and it's one where two big European teams playing in Wembley, in London, and it's a game which I think will have a lot of intrigue, especially from the neutral perspective, with Dortmund, and then of course Madrid, the biggest, one of the biggest teams in the world, and so it's definitely a game which will have a lot of intrigue, and we'll dive into it right now. Starting with Real Madrid, just three keys to the game, and I think the first thing, like I've mentioned before, they've been here before. They've won the Champions League 14 times, so the players and the manager have a ton of experience. And I think it's one of those games where they need to use that experience. They need to use not only the super talented young players that they have, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, plenty of others, but the likes of Toni Kroos, the likes of Modric, the likes of Rudiger, who's won a Champions League in the past at Chelsea. And obviously Carlo Ancelotti, the manager, he's won it a couple times for Real Madrid alone and other teams, but it's a spot where Real Madrid expect to be in. They've been in it 1,000 times before the Champions League final, and they have the players and the coach, the experience to go with the occasion. And so I think that's one thing that will give them an advantage, especially early going, where they just need to be able to keep their emotions in wraps, stay composed in the moment, and just play the way they know how to. And with the big moment, it's not going to scare them, and I think that could be an advantage in this game against Dortmund. The second key is don't let Dortmund get into the game. Don't let them feel comfortable. I mean, I didn't think Dortmund was even going to be in this game anyway. I thought they were going to lose to Atletico, and I thought they were going to lose to PSG, so maybe I really shouldn't pick against them this game. And my prediction, which we'll get into later, we'll see if I do, because I do think I have a good chance in this game just because their defensive qualities have carried them to this point. But for Real Madrid, don't let Dortmund feel comfortable. There's no weird way, or there's no bad part about saying that Dortmund isn't as talented as Real Madrid. Like, everyone knows Madrid is the more talented team. But if you let a lesser team stay in the game long enough, if you let a team that's trying to defend hang around into the 70th, 80th minute, and if it's still 0-0 or 1-1, that gives Dortmund more hope to win it on a random counterattack or push to penalties, which I think is a real possibility. And, so for Real Madrid, just don't let Dortmund feel comfortable. Get an early goal if possible, if you're Madrid, and really just settle into the game. Make Dortmund come and attack you as the game wears on, where you can use your young, pacey wingers to get at the Dortmund defense on a counterattack, which I think is going to be something that Real Madrid can really take advantage of. The third and final key, though, is a big call from Carlo Ancelotti, putting Thibaut Courtois in between the post. Andre Lunin, the goalkeeper for Real Madrid, he's been playing well. He stepped in when Courtois got injured, and then Kepa got injured or something happened there. And so Lunin stepped in, been playing really well. And reports, though, have suggested that Ancelotti is going to go with Courtois in net for the Champions League final on Saturday. A big call from Ancelotti, and it will be interesting. He just can't play poorly. Coming back from an ACL tear, he cannot cost his team the game. He cannot make any random errors or something that leads to a goal. He needs to prove that he's the better goalkeeper and that Ancelotti made the right choice if he does start. And so I think that's just an interesting storyline going in, is the goalkeeper position for Real Madrid. Courtois has to play well. Moving over to Dortmund, their keys to the game. The defense as a whole goes without saying for Dortmund to try and making sure that Real Madrid doesn't get that early goal, and that they can try and shut down Vinicius or Joselu or Bellingham rolling into the box. But Matt Hummels in the center of that defense, he was there 10, 11 years ago in Wembley in 2013 when they played Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. And his experience is going to be key to hold that back line together, to make sure the midfield drops back, and just to try and contain the abundant of attacking talent that Real Madrid has. So Matt Hummels at the center of that defense for Dortmund, one of the key pillars for that team. He's definitely a key feature in Dortmund's chances of winning this Champions League final. The second part is just the team overall focus. The young players need to do their part, and they need to stick together if and when they go down a goal. And with Real Madrid's attacking presence, it's just like Man City. It's just 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, bang. They've played a 1-2 around you if you're falling asleep at the back, and now you're 1-0 down. So Matt Hummels, as mentioned before, needs to keep that team together. Sean in the midfield, he's the captain now, except for this upcoming game, which Marco Reus has said will be the captain. He'll get the walkout for his final game, which I'll get into in a second. But just the midfield and that center back partnership, they need to make sure that everyone's focused, they're compact, no falling asleep anywhere. Otherwise, Madrid will definitely take advantage of that before you even realize it. Moving on to the third and final key to the game, though, it's more of a storyline than anything else. But Marco Reus, his final game for Dortmund, been there forever, a club servant. He didn't leave to go to Bayern. He didn't leave to go to any of the bigger clubs when Dortmund was finishing second or first in the Bundesliga, and he was an all-world talent. Injuries have plagued his career, but it'll be good to see him, though he's come off the bench most of the games. Edin Terzic, the manager, has said that he will lead the team out as captain at Wembley for his final game as the club, as he deserves. And so I hope, whether you're a Madrid fan, Dortmund fan, or just a neutral, everyone will be rooting for him to have a good game, for him to go out and at least play well and be competitive, because what a career he's had, and he deserves nothing less than, to go out on a high and to enjoy the moment at Wembley in the Champions League final, Marco Reus' final game at Dortmund. Moving into the prediction, though, as you can see, I've gone 3-1 to Real Madrid. I think it's a game where Madrid maybe grab one right before halftime and then grab another one at some point, maybe to start the second half. Dortmund nick one back, and then as Dortmund's flying forward in the 80th, 85th minute, 90th minute to try and equalize, I think Real Madrid catch them on a counterattack. You have Vinicius running down the wing, or whoever it is that will catch Dortmund out on the counterattack, and I think that makes it 3-1. Real Madrid seal the deal late on in the game. But I think it's a competitive game. I think it's an entertaining game. And I think Dortmund will do better than a lot of people think because, as I stated earlier, I didn't think they'd get this far. And so they have Julian Brandt, Jadon Sancho. They have some good players in the team. And so the attacking talent, I think, can provide Real Madrid maybe a couple scares. And it really just all depends on how well they can hold defensively against, Toni Kroos, Modric picking a pass, Bellingham rolling into the box, Vinicius Jr. on the wing, and just the abundance of talent that Real Madrid has. It's going to be a tough ask for Dortmund to hang around for 90-plus minutes. But, I think they can keep it close. But I think just in the end, Real Madrid edge it and then nick a goal at the end to seal the deal. Real Madrid 3-1, Champions League winners for the 15th time. Carlo Ancelotti lifts the trophy again. And it's a great story for Dortmund. Edin Terzic, the manager who is just a fan of Dortmund. He grew up a fan. Now he's the manager of his boyhood club, leading it to the Champions League final. Not even the best of seasons in the Bundesliga, but to lead them to the final. It's a great story for him, and I think Dortmund have a good team that will be good in the future, but just not enough talent to handle Real Madrid and that great squad that they have there. So once again, Real Madrid, 15-time Champions League winners after Saturday. Hope it's a good game. Leave your predictions in the comments below. And until then, watch it, and I'll see you guys next time.